everyone. Thank you for coming. Welcome directors, welcome students, welcome governor. On behalf of the Department of Human Resources, I'd really like to, it's my pleasure to welcome all of you this morning to the ceremony to recognize the participation of our summer intern students and the conclusion of our second transformation internship program. We've had the privilege to partner with the Office of Information Management Technology to welcome students, a number of which are Kama'aina, home for the summer, to participate in this summer's program. And we're also very fortunate to have on my left some non-Hawaii residents join us for the session, some in person and some remotely. And it's really enriched the program for us.
Remotely meaning by geography.
Yes.
Not in their brains.
Yes, 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 that is correct, Governor. Shortly, you'll hear a little bit about the students that have participated with us, but we really want to thank you all for joining us this morning, and thank you to the departments who have welcomed the students into your operations and really given them the opportunity and to experience government. And we also thank you for your continued support of the program. I'd like to call on Randy Baltimore to say a few words about what we did this summer with the students.
Randy, there you are. Didn't see you right away. Come on, here we go.
Thanks, Governor. Aloha, everyone.
Are we being broadcast now? Is everybody seeing?
Yes.
Are our remote friends seeing
Yes.
us?
They are.
And hearing you? Okay, very good.
Aloha, everyone. This is an exciting day to celebrate with the summer interns on a successful completion of the program. A program like this doesn't happen with a lot of support from throughout the state. I just wanted to say a few thank yous to all the people who've helped us out with this program. It starts with the governor's office. The governor has been a strong supporter of this program, and we certainly couldn't do this without the governor's office assistance with this. Also with DHERD, the Department of Human Resources and Development, with Barbara Krieg and Layla and Michael. Thank you very much for your help. We have the help of the department directors. We have a few directors here today, as well as the business transformation representatives that are appointed from throughout the departments that have been working with all the interns on the different programs. An important aspect of this is actually not just about getting experience in government, but also learning about leadership and civic leadership. And so we've been able to bring some speakers to talk to the students, and I want to thank all these speakers for helping us out. Lieutenant Governor Shan Susui, Dale Aiello from Gardner, Rusto Castanero, General Manager for HIC, Kevin Wakayama, the Tax Compliance Administrator, the Executive Director of the Board of Education, Leanne Ebisugawa, Mel Horakami from HPU, Forrest Frizzell, the CIO of Hawaii Community Foundation, Pono Shim from Enterprise Honolulu, Attorney General David Louie, CEO of Island Insurance Company Colbert Matsumoto, and President of ProServe, Ben Godsey. And then on Wednesday, the interns will get to hear from Director Calbert Young from Budget and Finance. Lastly, and most importantly...
That will be a sobering experience.
No pressure.
Lastly, I want to thank you students. It's been a great opportunity for us to work with you, but you've all made great contributions in the various departments. You've helped us out with developing document management solutions in the Department of Budget and Finance, supporting multiple departments regarding process flows for death certificates, assisting in streamlining back-end processes at the Department of Health, assisting the Department of Taxation with customer service improvements, assisting DHERD and OIMT with social media, the use of it, helping the Department of Transportation with internal communications, and assisting the Department of Land and Natural Resources with inter-island communications. So thank you very much, and congratulations.
You're allowed to applaud yourselves. Yay. Very good. Excellent.
Okay, now we'd like to take this opportunity to recognize each of you. So I'll call each of you individually if you wouldn't mind coming up. First, we'll have...
Wait.
Oh.
Do you want me to
Yep.
pass out these certificates
Yes.
now so holy pictures can be taken?
Yes, that would be
Very
nice.
good. Okay.
Yeah.
Unless you want to say something, Governor.
I'm going to say so. Don't, never fear. That will take place. But we'll get to that after we get to the, shall we, do we have some?
Yeah.
I want to, can you hold on to that, Michael, for me?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, first we have Harold Ames.
Shall I go in front and do this to take the pictures? How do you want to do this, Ty?
That is fine.
Back here? Okay,
All right.
let's get this out of the way.
Okay. Harold Ames is a U.S.
Harold?
Army veteran. He's a PhD candidate focusing
Good
on
for you.
industrial and organizational psychology
Come,
at Capella
right in.
University. And he's
Whoops.
working on his doctorate and will complete this 2014.
Good. Let's hold this like this. You can put your hand up there. Take possession. There we are.
Okay, right here. 1, 2, and 3. One more. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you, Harold. Great pleasure. Thank you.
Okay. Next, we'll call up Jeremy Bach. Jeremy is currently pursuing a Bachelor's of Science degree in Applied Business and Information
Jeremy?
Technology. at
Congratulations.
University
Good
of
for you.
Baltimore.
Here we go. Let's get this open. There we go.
1, 2, and 3. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Oh, wait, one more. 1, 2, 3.
Very good. Jeremy, thank you.
Next, we'll have Joshua Chen. He's an undergraduate student at the University of Miami, currently studying biomedical engineering, and he'll graduate in spring 2016.
Did you fly yourself in here?
Oh, no, I come back here during the summer just to see my family. So.
Oh, good for you. Come. Here we go.
Okay. 1, 2, and 3. Thank you.
Very good. Joshua, thank you.
Next, we'll have Alexis Domingo. Alexis is a junior at Mount St. Mary's College in California, and she's majoring in political science with a minor in film.
Congratulations. Here we go. Whoops. Let me get that back there.
Okay. 1, 2, and 3. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Great pleasure for me.
Next, we'll have Christopher Green.
Christopher.
is a
Here we go.
resident of California and flew down for an internship program. He attends University of California, Santa Barbara, and is a senior majoring in political science.
Good for you. Can't you take up something more, a little less complicated?
Okay, 1, 2, and 3. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure for me.
Okay, now we're going to switch to here.
Bradley.
Let's see.
I got Bradley
Okay.
Lee.
Okay, yeah, we can continue with Bradley.
Okay.
Okay.
Bradley?
Bradley?
There we are.
Bradley
It's always
is
more
a-
fun when you get a certificate with your name on it. Here we
He's
go,
a
Bradley.
computer science major at Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute in Troy, New York.
Tell me about it. I went to Union.
Oh, really?
Are we still kicking your butt?
Yeah, we just lost.
Thank you very much.
And then we'll have Jason.
RPI is a terrific school, by the way. Terrific school.
Jason Lee.
Good for you.
Jason
Jason,
is
here we
attending
go.
Northeastern University in Boston, Massachusetts, and pursuing a Bachelor of Science in Biology with a minor in computer science.
Here you go. Good for you.
Okay, right here. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Angela? Angela Mooney is an
All right, Angela.
University at Mount St. Mary's College in California and will graduate in May 2014.
You're part of the Mount St. Mary's conspiracy?
In poli-sci and healthcare policy.
1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Good, good.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome, dear.
Okay, we'll have Phil. Philip Suzukawa Singh is a junior at Claremont McKenna, working on a Bachelor of Arts in Economics and
Good to
Finance.
see you. Here we go.
Okay, 1, 2, and 3. Thank you.
Thank you. Very good.
Ha Bong is a senior pursuing her Bachelor's in Arts in Business and Marketing and Management at the Schneider College of Business here at University of Hawaii.
All right, there you go.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Very good. Maybe get your picture up on one of those big banners up at the campus. Huh? Good for you.
We'll have Dustin. Dustin Yamaguchi is a military veteran who served 11 years in the United States Air Force. He is pursuing his bachelor's degree at the University of Phoenix, majoring in business management.
Good for you.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
You know those folks down there, Phoenix, okay? Good for you.
Can you switch it? Okay, that concludes our folks here.
Then we're going to do
Yeah.
some virtual awards.
Yes, yes, yes.
We're all set for Michael.
Okay.
Michael,
So Michael Ho
Did you know you changed your name to Betty Chan? There you go, Michael.
He's from Olympia, Washington, and as
Where
a
do I
sophomore-
hold this so that Michael can actually see he's getting
You can
something?
hold it in front of him.
Is the camera there?
Camera's right here.
Okay. Michael, can you see that?
Barely. Yeah.
We'll mail it to you.
Yeah.
We're from the government, Michael, and we're here to help you. Thank you, Michael. Really appreciate it. We will send this right along to you.
Great. Thank you.
Michael is a sophomore in the informatics program at the University of Washington. Congratulations, Michael.
We're dumping you, Michael.
Okay, next we have Betty Chad. She's completing a project management certificate at UCLA. And her background includes undergraduate in finance and health at the university and a master's in business administration from USC. And she's been working with the different projects with us. So here's Betty.
Betty, can you see this a little bit better?
Yes, I can.
Oh, good. Good for you. Thank you so very much. We're very, very appreciative. And we'll be sending this right along to you.
Shi-Chen is a graduate student at University of Washington pursuing a Master's of Public Administration degree with the Evans School of Public Affairs, as well as a Certificate of Technology Entrepreneurship at the Foster School of Business.
Si-Chen, can you see your certificate, I hope?
Yeah, I can see it. Thank you.
Oh, I'm very, very happy to be sending it along to you. Thank you for your participation. We're very grateful.
Thanks.
Everybody sends their aloha.
Okay. And finally, we have UC Singh. UC graduated from Guangdong University in Foreign Studies in China in 2012 with a bachelor's degree in Spanish Studies and a double major in Translation and Interpreting English. And she's pursuing her master's degree in Public Administration, also at the Evans School of Public Affairs in University of Washington in Seattle.
Lucy, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Very happy to have you. Do you suppose you can translate in English the things that I say to people?
Yeah, of course. Also Spanish.
Okay. Good. I'll have to get you together with my wife. Then you can, the both of you can double team me in Spanish, okay?
Yeah, great.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, when my wife gets tired of giving me grief in French, she can give me grief in Spanish. Thank you. So, am I abandoned by you guys now?
The floor is yours.
My turn. Okay. Wayne, you ready?
Ready.
I have a few remarks. Actually, I'm so grateful. I've said how grateful I am to all of you, and at the risk of making that sound like an empty rhetorical device, I want to emphasize it. Perhaps not for reasons that are readily apparent to you. All of you young folks who are here today represent to me and represent in this TIP program, in this transformational program that we have. The goal of what we want to do with getting digital devices into our elementary and middle schools. Now, you maybe didn't even think about that or hadn't even had it necessarily mentioned to you. I hope that some of you, if not all of you, are aware of what we're trying to do here. Think, if you did not have the capacity, or people like UC and others are so-called virtual, and they're not really virtual at all. We have to get rid of that word, because they're there in real time and doing real things. This is not a virtual program at all. What it shows is that we can extend ourselves into cyberspace And having done that, that we can participate in real activities with one another in genuine exchanges, intellectual and programmatic and at all levels. If we don't train our children to have the same kind of capacity, if we don't give them the physical ability in terms of digital devices to be able to compete in this 21st century, they're not only going to fall behind, they're going to fall out of the capacity to even be able to participate at all. You're the forerunners right now of what's going to be taking place for the rest of the 21st century. I just happen to have UC on my a picture right there, right now. You represent the globalization, if you will, of information and exchange with real human beings. And besides, it's clear to me how happy you are to be doing it. We can see the smile on your face and get a sense of your joy, I hope is the correct word, at being able to participate. We want every child to have that opportunity. And so I have an ulterior motive, really, in being here today. Yes, I want to thank you for your service, yes, but I want you folks to be a living, breathing, three-dimensional reminder to everybody in this state that we have to see to it that every child has the same opportunity to be trained and to have the capacity to be able to do what you were doing this past summer and what you're going to be doing with your lives. As the recitation, Lila was making the recitations of what your majors are and what your past experiences have been and what you hope to do with your lives. The capacity to participate in this program and to be able to video conference, to be able to make the exchange, to be able to utilize the information technology available today makes all the difference in the world to you in terms of you being able to take every ability that you have and extend it to every capability that you have as a result of that ability. Nobody's being stifled here. Nobody's intellect is being cornered. None of your possibilities are being truncated. It's quite the opposite. And this is what I want available for every child. This is the kind of investment we need to make. So I definitely want to thank you. I know you're getting experience on a very practical level of what the exchange from the general public on issues of general interest, right down to the very individualized concerns that people have across the state. So I want to thank you. I particularly, of course, want to thank the Chief Information Officer and his staff, Randy and Layla and all of the department folks that have with whom you've been working. But more importantly, I think I want to emphasize in closing that I hope that you'll share these experiences and be a resource for us in terms of support for those children who don't necessarily have the means to participate yet in terms of availability of technology. We do not want to have a society that is divided along digital lines, and in order not to have that, we have to make sure we don't have a society divided on class lines. Your financial foundation should not be the criterion upon which a decision is made as to whether you can fully participate in the 21st century, particularly when it comes to information exchange. The capacity to have command of information, mastery of information, means you have mastery for yourself and over yourself. And that the path forward for you is made clear by your ability to be able to utilize all of the information technology that is otherwise available to anyone who has the means. So thank you very, very much for your participation. I'm very, very proud of all of you. I'm very, very happy for the opportunity to participate with you in terms of the sponsorship of the program. Randy or Layla? Are we going to take questions or something
Yeah,
now?
If you wouldn't mind,
No, I don't mind.
students have a question
Unless
for-
everybody feels bludgeoned into submission as a result.
Exchange.
Sure.
Go ahead.
You don't have to have a question. If you have a comment or an observation you'd like me to comment on, I'm pleased to do that as well. Yes.
Good morning, Mr. Governor. My name is Phil, and I want to say thank you
Yes.
for taking the time out of your schedule to speak with us today. And my question to you is, for the past several decades, Hawaii has been recognized as a central figure, or a bridge, if you will, between the East and the West, Asia to America. However, some may argue that recently Hawaii has lost its prominence in this role. What is your current stance on the situation, and what can Hawaii do to maintain or improve its status on a global level? Thank you.
I can't imagine who would argue that Hawaii has lost its position in the terms of what you cited, other than volitionally. You began, the premise of your remark was being between East and West. I've always rejected that. If we're a bridge between East and West, bridges get walked on. They get passed over. They aren't taken into account other than as some kind of foundation to get from one place to another place. You don't stay on the bridge. You move over the bridge and off the bridge. We don't want to be a bridge. We want to be and are moving towards being an anchor of the Asia-Pacific area. And I think that was made most manifest by the APEC, the Asian Pacific Economic Conference that was held here within the past 2 years, which was acknowledged by all the participants, all the nations of the Asia-Pacific Rim, as being one of the best, if not the best, conference in terms of its content, in terms of the compatibility with the goals of the APEC nations. People feel comfortable here in Hawaii. If you're from the Asia-Pacific area, Hawaii is indeed an anchor for this 21st century idea, the 21st century of the Asia-Pacific century, as I see it. So Hawaii is going to provide, starting, I can assure you, with this administration and those to come, with a platform, if you will, as a center, recognizing this anchor idea. We'll be reaching out, hopefully, to coordinate conversations and facilitate even reconciliation, mediation, those kinds of things, whether it's through the University of Hawaii, the East-West Center, the Securities Division for the United States military at Fort DeRussy. We have and international student exchanges and that we're trying to develop, and then I think that Hawaii will be, and especially if we can develop a cadre, if you will, of intellect here among those who are from Hawaii and who want to come to Hawaii to live. We think that we'll have an intellectual foundation as well that will sustain this anchor idea. So I'm quite confident and optimistic that Hawaii will cease being some place that you go through and by and over, and become rather more central to the history of the Asia-Pacific region as the century progresses.
My name is Dustin.
Yes, Dustin.
So what?
You're a veteran in the group. You know about the security studies portion down there.
Well, my question to you is, what do you see is most difficult when dealing with challenges, say with state issues, to also to include issues that maybe started during previous administration?
Okay, some of the most difficult issues that the state faces. Well, they're challenges. I don't. Maybe difficult is one way to look at it. It's difficult only if you're not willing to face up to what needs to be done. Then your difficulties disappear, and what comes into the forefront of your consideration of consideration of these challenges. That's really what they are. Is challenges. Are you willing to face up to what needs to be done? Island people need to do that. Island people don't have much in the way of choice, do they? One of the challenges, for example, is energy. If we are 2,500 miles away, that's generally the numbers that we use from resources that otherwise are seen as more ubiquitous in mainland areas where, well, you can get water from other states or other regions. We can run grids across states over thousands of miles. We don't have to have an energy source right near us. It's available. These kinds of things. You can't do that here. Island people have to own up a lot sooner than other people to what the necessities are that they have to come to terms with. Whether it's energy, whether it's food, whether it's transportation, whether it's your intellectual property and the cultivation of what you need to have by way of intellectual resources. All these things need to be faced, especially in a world of globalization. The fact that we're again, I'm focusing on UC just as a case in point. The internationalization, the globalization of intellect, of awareness, of the ability to communicate with one another. Not necessarily to understand with one another. Communication and understanding and comprehension are two different things. There's a mechanical kind of communication that can take place, such as we're engaged in right now with our friends located elsewhere geographically from us. But that doesn't necessarily mean that we understand one another or are in sync with one another in terms of what is being communicated and the understanding of it. So I think the principal issues that we have to face are those that involve the globalization of commodities and how that affects us. And then internally, we have to face our fiscal stability, which is what this administration has been doing. We no longer have a deficit, a yearly budget deficit, and we're addressing forthrightly and relentlessly our unfunded liabilities, whether it's in terms of health care premiums or in terms of retirement questions. You have only to take a look at what has been happening with Detroit in terms of bankruptcies, in terms of unfunded liabilities, creating fiscal challenges and fears and anxieties across the nation, whether it's nationally or elsewhere. We're facing up to those things. So I can say, by the way, that in the educationally speaking, the race to the top, where Hawaii had to was faced with some challenges there, that today the Department of Education is announcing that Hawaii is being taken off of the list of those who are endangering. Quite the opposite. The Department of Education nationally in Washington has recognized that our Department of Education, our Board of Education, our teachers, our principals, our educational staff has met the challenge forthrightly, directly, and successfully. So our appointed board, because we've taken politics out, politics in the sense of electoral politics, where you have to look to what may please some people in order to get votes, taking that off the table, they've been able to concentrate on the policies and practices and procedures that are moving our educational foundation forward. And that's recognized just today by the National Department of Education. So I think on the issues, this administration is zeroing right in on them. And I think that the public, and not always because it's a popular thing to do, but I've been in this game a long time. This is my I'm going into my 5th decade of political activity. And I will tell you, just because you're doing something that doesn't please everybody at the moment doesn't mean that they don't understand that it's good for them. When your mom said, eat your vegetables, she knew what she was doing. You might not have liked it all, but you actually knew she was on your side and was looking out for you. So we're doing the things that need to be done, and people, I think, recognize that. And as a result, I think these issues of crucial centrality in terms of the viability of the state, I think people recognize that we're dealing with them in a forthright and comprehensive way. How about you folks that are out there in Cyberland? Yussi, I'm looking at you at the moment. Do you have something you'd like to share with us? Or any of the other folks that are out there? Michael, anybody? Anything on your mind, Yussi?
For me, I think this is a very exciting, very amazing experience. Like we're here on the other side, and you're in the ocean, and it's very good to communicate and to like sort of doing those kind of work remotely with you. It's very extraordinary experience for me.
What do you see? What do you see for yourself in the next 5 years? Tell us what you'll be doing in the next 5 years.
My 5 years, future 5 years. I hope I can go to Latin America.
Okay, you threw me with that one. Oh, that's because you're going to exercise your spend. So you're not going to Brazil?
Probably not with Brazil. I can't speak Portuguese.
I wouldn't doubt that you could do it, though, if you put your mind to it. But that's great. But that you know what that says to me is it emphasizes the point I've just been making about globalization. You feel I get an idea. You feel yourself, as much as you are a citizen of a particular place, you're also a citizen of the world.
Yes, I definitely think I am.
Very good. Anybody? There was more. Yes.
Governor Harold Ames, thank
Yes,
you
Harold.
for this opportunity and tips. The question I have relates to what I call an industrial responsibility, specifically as we kind of emerge out of this recession. My observation and kind of experiences through various departments throughout the state has been, to some extent, a loss of aloha and fostering mistrust, specifically during the first decade of this century. I'm wondering how you envision invoking maybe the spirit of aloha and your vision to the people of Hawaii.
Thank you. Harold, I think, makes an interesting observation that in this first decade of this century, there has been probably a strain on the idea of aloha. And that was able to sustain itself for a while with a kind of bubble, not just economically, but a bubble of perception in terms of that you could get away with just being on your own. I think the message of aloha really is the kind of message that propelled then Senator Barack Obama into becoming President Obama. The message he essentially took to the rest of the country in 2008 at the almost the worst time of this recession. It's not just an economic recession. It was a psychological and emotional and philosophical recession as well, in terms of optimism generally associated with the United States of America, at least in its ideological self-conception. And that message was that our diversity defines us rather than divides us. Now, people have heard me say that in my campaign for governor. They've heard me say that over and over again. But I say it again to you today, because my understanding of politics and of, I guess, of life by extension is that it's the obvious you have to say over and over again, because it's the obvious you tend to forget first and take most for granted. It's like telling those that you care about that you love them, that you care for them, that you're thinking about them. It's easy to forget about that. It's easy to take that for granted. But it's so precious and so important for us all to remember that it's those connections, those human connections, family and community, and the values associated with that, that give us the fundamental foundation of support that we need as human beings. You know, you find yourself then in a situation where that is more than a rhetorical idea that our diversity defines us rather than divides us. I rest my case on the fact that from our friends in remote space, in cyberspace, from all over the country and from the world, and you folks right here in this room, take a look. If you're not too discouraged by looking at one another, take a look. Is not this diversity? Is there not, from a gender point of view, from a racial point of view, from an ethnic point of view, a national point of view, from names and physiognomy and interests, an incredible diversity, and it literally defines who we are in Hawaii. That's the great glory about being in Hawaii. My friend from RPI here, Rensselaer Polytechnical Institute, in Troy, New York, Rensselaer. I mean, it's Dutch. It goes back, and Schenectady, where I went to school, a small school. Both of them are small schools, small in numbers. They're not little John Malkovich schools, you know, but they're small in number. But there's a history there. This happens to be in in eastern New York, the Hudson Valley, the top of the Hudson Valley, that has a history going back to the Dutch patroon system. Hawaii wasn't the only place with plantations. Hawaii wasn't the only place with a colonial history. This goes on all over the world. There's tremendous variety and diversity, but in so much of the rest of the world and so many other places, that causes division and rancor and opposition and confrontation, even to the point of violence and murder and irreconcilable values clashing with one another, religious and otherwise. The message of aloha is that gets subsumed, not because nobody's paying attention or that it doesn't matter. Quite the opposite. If you think about what the aloha spirit has accomplished in Hawaii, there is respect for the past. There's interest in what has come before. There's value seen in it. And it doesn't clash or conflict with what we're doing today. Quite the opposite. It gives us a solid foundation. We know who we are because we know where we came from. And we know some of the difficulties and the challenges that were met. Don't forget, everybody who came to Hawaii, starting with the original Polynesian voyagers, came from someplace else. It was only the islands were thrust up out of the sea over millions of years. And the human beings that came here afterwards, and the flora and the fauna and all of the so-called endangered species, everybody was endangered who came here because they had to have faith that they were going to some place that was going to give them more than what they had where they were. One good thing about Hawaii I can always say is that people in Hawaii got guts in terms of they have vision, they have a powerful sense of self, because their ancestors, everybody who came here, had to have a little something extra in them, because they weren't satisfied where they were, and they weren't willing to take what was going on around them, and they saw some vision, some opportunity, at least a little bit, that they were going to move out there. Well, I'll tell you one thing, when you think back, a generation, 2 generations, 3 generations from everybody that's in this room, you really, when we talk about honoring your ancestors, you really got to pay some attention to that. Because you got to think to yourself, do I have the same kind of courage that those folks had? Do I have the same capabilities within me to reach out for something more than might otherwise be right there in front of me? Do I have that same kind of commitment? Because that's what it took for people to come over thousands of miles. Those, as I said, the first Polynesians, they had to have faith that they were going to find paradise. So that's what the aloha spirit, to me, and our capacity to discuss that, to observe it, to reflect on it. I think more now than ever in this globalized world, the message of aloha is of community, of family, of the values of cooperation, of patience with one another, kindness, openness, hospitality. So important for island people. Absent that, the clashes that could occur and the failures of communication can be fatal. So that all of these ideas about aloha are diversity defining us, not dividing us, giving us a sense of brotherhood and sisterhood with one another, of community is not just valuable in the abstract sense, it's a lesson that we can take to the whole world, a message that we can take to the whole world, and a message we need to repeat to ourselves with conviction, because it's something that gives us value beyond measure. Okay. Does that do it? Yay!